Hi, I'm Craig Merriweather, and welcome to ACD Test. One of the first clients I ever worked with was an extraordinarily intelligent woman who had just finished a year-long training course to become an audiologist, and she was going to specialize in working with hearing-impaired children. The big problem was that she couldn't pass the state licensing exam to start her career. She had already spent years and tens of thousands of dollars getting her master's degree, and then another year of training about $15,000 to become an audiologist. Her starting salary was going to be $80,000, but she would get so nervous that she couldn't pass the exam to start her career. And each exam was costing her $500 whether she passed or not. She was frustrated, disappointed, angry with herself, and humiliated because she kept having to tell her family and friends that she didn't pass again. Test anxiety is a silent struggle, often overlooked or dismissed as mere nervousness before or during a test. However, the reality is far more profound and potentially damaging because it can have detrimental effects on academic performance, mental health, and a person's well-being. So imagine this scenario. You're sitting silently in a classroom. The clock is ticking. Your heart is racing. The palms of your hands are starting to get sweaty. Your mind goes blank. And even though you spent days studying and you know the material backwards and forwards, you just can't remember a thing. This is the reality for countless students grappling with test anxiety. Despite their diligent efforts to absorb the information, just the thought of an upcoming exam triggers a waterfall of negative thoughts and a physiological response that impedes their ability to demonstrate their true understanding of the material. So, test anxiety can manifest in various ways. As I just mentioned, students might blank out even though they know the material. There can be physical symptoms that can be equally debilitating, including nausea or dizziness, even panic attacks. And consequently, even the most prepared student can find their grades suffering due to the paralyzing effects of test anxiety. It's not uncommon for individuals to underperform or to fail to reach their full potential despite possessing the knowledge and the skills necessary to get an A+ on the test. And this isn't just about momentary nervousness. This is a profound issue that affects the whole academic life and future career opportunities of a person. The immediate academic toll is visible in lower grades, but the longer-term impacts can affect a student's confidence and willingness to pursue challenging courses or career opportunities. Therefore, they don't get the promotion, or they actually don't get to become, start the career of their choice, like becoming an audiologist. But beyond its immediate impact on academic performance, test anxiety can heighten existing mental health challenges or issues, or maybe even create new ones. The relentless pressure to excel academically, coupled with the fear of failure, can fuel a vicious cycle of stress, anxiety, self-doubt, creating this lack of confidence, this low self-esteem. And left unchecked, this toxic brew can trigger depression and even lead to burnout. And moreover, the pervasive culture of standardized testing and performance metrics can warp perceptions of self-worth, equating one's value as a person with their academic achievements. This distorted mindset not only intensifies the emotional burden of test anxiety, but also fosters a culture of competitiveness and comparison that undermines an individual's well-being and their self-confidence and their self-esteem. So recognizing and addressing test anxiety requires a multifaceted approach that encompasses both individual coping strategies, but also systematic changes within the educational institutions themselves. Students must be in charge of instructing and training their own nervous systems and cultivate resilience and finding self-care practices to manage stress and anxiety. It's their responsibility, but we need to show them how to do that. Now, this can be as simple as deep breathing exercises or mindfulness meditation, or even just cognitive behavioral therapy to reframe negative thought patterns. On an individual level, techniques like deep breathing can help manage the immediate physical symptoms of anxiety. Mindfulness meditation can foster a sense of calm and presence, reducing the likelihood of anxiety spiraling out of control. And the cognitive behavioral therapy exercises can be instrumental in identifying and then reprogramming the negative thought patterns that fuel anxiety. But also, It's time for educators and policymakers to bear some responsibility for creating a learning environment that prioritizes students, test metrics over their well-being. And this entails reassessing the emphasis on high-stakes testing, implementing maybe some sort of alternative assessment methods that accommodate diverse learning styles, and fostering a culture of academic excellence that celebrates progress and effort rather than outcome alone. So, can you imagine a classroom where the focus is on learning and growth rather than just on scores and punishing failure? Alternative assessment methods such as project-based learning or portfolio assessments can provide a more comprehensive picture of a student's abilities and understanding. Look, test anxiety is not a trivial inconvenience, but a real barrier that obstructs the path to academic success and personal fulfillment by shedding light on how it affects the mind, the body, the emotions, the spirit, and then championing strategies of not only for prevention but intervention. We can empower individuals to confront their fears, reclaim their confidence, and unlock their full potential. Again, just imagine a future where education is a beacon of hope rather than a battleground of anxiety, where students are nurtured rather than reduced to test scores and statistics. So what happened to the audiologist? Well, after failing the exam about 3 times, she came to see me. We worked one-on-one together over about 3 different sessions. I taught her these techniques and strategies that you find in the ACE Any Test online course, and she passed the very next time she took the exam. And now she's happy. She's excited to go to work every day helping children with hearing loss lead more thriving lives. Look, you and I both know that there's not one cure-all strategy or technique that'll help every single person struggling with test anxiety. But there are many research-proven skills that you can learn that'll help you take back control of your stressed-out nervous system and calm a panic and overwhelmed mind. I myself struggle with anxiety and depression and watched my son struggle with test anxiety. And to help him and to finally deal once and for all with my own issues, I spent years researching the strategies, techniques, and skills available for ending test anxiety. And once I helped my son and myself find peace of mind and body, I realized I had a toolbox filled with research-proven methods for eliminating test anxiety easily and quickly. And to save you a lot of time and heartache, I put it all into a course called ACE Any Test, which you can find out more about simply by going to aceanytest.com or clicking the link below in the show notes. So as we wrap up today's episode, please understand that test anxiety is a common experience shared by many. You are not alone. And by shedding light on this topic and sharing strategies for overcoming it, we can empower individuals to approach exams with confidence and resiliency. So thank you for joining me on this journey for ending test anxiety. Remember, you are more than a test score, and your worth is not defined by a single exam. Keep striving, keep growing, and above all, keep believing in yourself. And as my gift to you, go to aceanytest.com, and there you can download for free 5 different recordings to program yourself for confidence. That's for you to have. And if you or a loved one struggles with test anxiety, whether you get really nervous before an exam or an audition, a job interview, or giving a presentation, please check out the ACE Any Test online training program. It's the most comprehensive course filled with research-proven techniques and strategies for ending test anxiety. Thank you again for listening, everyone. Have a great week, and here's to your success in all that you do.